So now go ahead and rub your hands like that, and then bless yourself. So I started growing my hair out in 2020, and I had short hair pretty much for my whole life. And after I got back from Pine Ridge in South Dakota and prayed out there, it was very clear that to me, I needed to start growing out my hair. And at the time, I didn't fully understand it. And so I started growing out my hair. And one of the things in the teachings, and different traditions have different teachings around our hair as Native Americans, but there are a lot of similarities. And one of them is like your thoughts, your mind, sensitivity, right? Like awareness of your surroundings. And one of my biggest struggles in life has been just my insecurity. And as I was going and growing my hair out, it just made me think about all the times in my life, like I got made fun of or bullied for the way that I looked, the way that I dressed. I remember when I first got glasses, when I first got braces, how I used to have like a speech impediment. And as I was growing out my hair, I went through the same doubts. Oh my God, I look so ugly. I look like an idiot. I'm just going to cut it. And I just remember those first 2 years, I was like, man, these are thoughts that I've had my whole life. And I don't want these thoughts anymore. And as that was happening in 2022, I did my first long-term dieta, meaning I worked with one specific plant for a certain amount of time, and you allow that plant to teach you visions, teach you songs, teach you lessons and perspective. And my particular plant was Palo Santo. And part of the dieta was me going celibate. So I did this 8-month dieta, and I was celibate for 8 months, which I tell this to people all the time was the hardest thing in my life that I've ever done. And it had to do with a lot of my trauma, the abuse I went through as a kid, a lot of the dysfunctional energy in my life, in my mind, in my body. And it was the hardest 8 months that I've gone through. And I had to deal with a lot of my addictions, old addictions, thoughts, patterns, like dysfunctions in me as I was going not only through this dieta, but through this process of growing my hair out. And very early on in the dieta, in a prayer ceremony, I got the message, when you complete this, you're going to braid your hair for the first time. Because people were like, oh, when are you going to braid your hair? When are you going to braid your hair? And I was like, oh, I don't know, maybe soon. And then Palo Santo was like, no, not until you finish this dieta. So I was like, okay, here we go. Like the first, or the 8 months, I went to this lady Tish's house afterwards, this Navajo woman who has taught me a lot about hair and braids and the significance. And throughout that 8 months, I read the book Braiding Sweetgrass, and that's what this is right here, is sweetgrass. And Sky Woman represents sweetgrass, and the braid, that's what you're braiding. You're braiding sweetgrass. That's what the braid represents. And when Tish braided my hair for the first time, she was telling me all these different stories. And one of the things that she had told me was like, when you're braiding your hair, you're not just braiding your hair, you're braiding your entire life. And I got really emotional because I was like, man, my whole life I've just like rejected so much of me and judged me. I've been so hard on myself. And as she was braiding my hair, she was just telling me like, these are all parts of you that make you who you are. And now these are lessons that you can't forget about. And you're braiding them or weaving them into your life now. And you're now organizing them, creating structure, boundaries, and learning how to turn those negative thoughts or self-judgments or insecurities into strength, into beauty, and not allowing those thoughts to control your life. And I never heard anyone explain that to me before in this way. And so for me now, I've only had 5 people braid my hair since I've been growing it out. So I'm going on 6 years now. And I asked Emily if she would braid my hair. And, you know, she was willing enough and open enough to braid my hair and be able to share this experience. So not only I could teach about it, but the significance, the meaning, the intentions that go into when you braid your hair and the thoughts, you know, and in some traditions, you're supposed to braid your hair every morning. And part of that is around waking up, structure, discipline, organizing your day, but being mindful of the thoughts that are going into your mind while you're braiding your hair. And so you're supposed to have good thoughts, beautiful thoughts, loving thoughts, positive thoughts, because that is what's going to get woven into your day. And so every day in some tradition, that's why you braid your hair daily, is to make sure that you remind yourself every single day that this is a choice to walk with hajam or beauty. And the braids are a reminder of that. And then to protect that. And so that's why it's like, it's nice and tight, because it's also about, it's protected. So nothing can, none of those thoughts can influence me. And it's like a reminder. And if I were to put it in like a Buddhist tradition, it's like a top knot. Some Buddhist traditions shave their head because they don't want anything blocking their thoughts. They want to make sure they have pure thoughts. You could relate it to, in the Judaic faith, like a yarmulke. In some other cultures, they might wear like a turban or some type of a protection on their head, because the head is sacred. Your hair is sacred. And so then when you braid your hair, it's a reminder, like, hey, protect my thoughts, be mindful of what I'm thinking, be mindful of my actions. But also, braids are beautiful. And like, I am a walking testament to beauty, not by the words that I say, but the actions that I take. And part of that is your willingness to ask for help, you know, to be vulnerable, to allow someone to contribute not only to your success, but contribute to your beauty, because we can't do it alone. And so that's why this process here, I wanted to ask Emily to braid my hair. You know, she had these amazing braids in her hair. When I saw her, she's part of the OPT Yaya's Run Club. And I asked her, I said, did you braid your hair? And she's like, yeah. I was like, man, those braids are amazing. And so then I asked her, would you braid my hair for this? Because I could tell a lot by the quality of her heart based on how well she takes care of her hair. And so for me, this next kind of phase of my life is around weaving all of the lessons that I've been through in my life, the ups, the downs, like the bad times, the good times, the amazing times, the stressful times. And I'm weaving this into my life, which are teachings from the Spider Woman. And that is why I decided to, hey, it's time for me to braid my hair again. It's been almost 3 years since I braided my hair. And I went through so much in these past 3 years. It's like when I'm thinking about her right now as she's braiding me, it's like that 8 month of celibacy changed my life, and that was the kickstart of my hair. But then the first time I braided it, now celibacy is easy for me. I've done celibacy multiple times, 5 months, 3 months, 6 weeks. Like it's not hard for me anymore. But I also have like a lot of heartache. I've had my heart broken many times in the past 5 years, in like really painful ways, not only from friends, teachers, but like women I thought I was gonna marry, like just totally smashed my heart. And even in this period, this time frame between the last time I had my hair braided and now, I found out who my birth family was, and my birth mom denied my existence. And that was like, I haven't even still fully unpacked all of that, because it was just so like, it's like, oh, this makes sense. This is the story of my life, of rejection and abandonment and just being thrown away into the trash. And it's like all this has happened in the past 5 years. And even since, like I said, the last 3 years, since the last time I had my hair braided. But it's like I'm still full of love and joy and enthusiasm and resiliency. And I can't let those challenging times, difficult times, business failures, business successes, I can't let the downs cloud the ups. That I have to remember, this is the story of my life. And it's my responsibility to conduct myself in a way that I can weave these lessons, these teachings, this wisdom into my life and carry that forward. And now I'm in a place where it's like I'm ready to share a lot of what I've been through, a lot of what I've learned in a way that is clear, beautiful, easy to understand. And that all has to do with, okay, I'm ready to now get my hair braided again. So thanks, Emily, for braiding my hair. And thank you to everyone who watches this. Thank you to everyone who's going to start coming to my meditation classes, who's going to partake in the meditation course. And I just wanted to share the significance, some of the stories of not only what the hair and the braids represent, but my journey of growing my hair out and getting my hair braided. So thank you. I hope